Hello and welcome back to the Gunslinger podcast. I'm your uncle, Dane, and this is episode 2. I'm pretty much going to be doing these just whenever I kind of want to talk about something, so it's just in time actually, because about, I want to say a little less than a week ago, Valve, of course, released those balance changes. If you haven't heard about it by now, it's a bunch of changes that Valve is proposing to add to the game, basically. They haven't added them yet. They just want to see what we think about them. Before, like in the past, it's always been they make the update and then they just throw it all at us at once, and then we get to play around with it and see what we like about it, and then we complain about it. And now the broken things are the things that are OP or the things that are too weak. Now they get to be in the game, and people don't like that. So this system actually is perfect. And I'm glad that they're starting to do this. I hope that they do this for literally every single update from now on, that not just the Pyro update. One thing to note is that the changes in this list are not final by any means. They're just there to gauge our reactions. So keep that in mind when you do read them, or if you already have read them. Something different, though, today about this episode is going to be that pretty much the entire thing is going to be stuff that was recorded not live. Well, I mean, like, not live to me. I mean, it was recorded live at the time. This is recorded in the past to you, but to me, it's recorded live. But the stuff that I'm going to be showing you is actually going to be recorded in the past for me as well. So basically, I was on Getawhale's podcast. Getawhale, if you don't know, I was on Getawhale's stream, rather. Getawhale's podcast is with Mela. His stream is mostly solo, but he does take calls. He takes live callers in from time to time, and he was taking in callers the day before when the actual balance changed blog dropped, and he wanted me to call in, but I was busy doing something else, so I decided the very next day that I would go on his stream and basically talk to him in Discord instead of over the phone about all the balance changes. And it ended up being a very, very interesting conversation. I think that we have a good dynamic, and we kind of sat there and dissected a lot of the controversial changes and what we thought about them. And I don't know, just kind of shot the shit for an hour. And I thought it ended up being a very good example of my own thoughts about it. So instead of just repeating them here, I'm just going to play the audio for you guys. But before we get into that, I want to just talk about a few things. Last episode, I read a lot of your guys' comments, and one of the biggest requests was that I put the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, which, yes, I will be doing that. Confirmed, I am going to be doing that before the next episode is up. This one won't be on iTunes or SoundCloud right away, but eventually they will be on SoundCloud and iTunes. So if you want to listen to it on the go, or if you don't have YouTube Red and you can't turn your screen off when you're listening to a YouTube video, then that will be where you can listen to the podcast from next episode onward. Another thing that people gave me feedback about from the last episode was that the font in the video looked like it said Gunslinger Poocast because of the font I used, which, yeah, you're right. I guess I just didn't notice. The D kind of looked like an O, so it looked like it said Poocast. So I changed the font. Hopefully it looks less like Poocast now. I think it does. I made sure and used a font where the D doesn't look too round. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, of course, is the reason why I do this. The reason why I think we're all here is to hear more about Marketplace.tf. If you didn't already know, Marketplace.tf is a great place where you can go and get items instantly for very, very cheap. Cheaper than the Steam Marketplace. Did you know that? Steam Marketplace puts markup on their items automatically so that Steam gets a cut. But Marketplace.tf does not do that. So if you want an item for cheap and you want it instantly, and it's instantly tradable, so you can like gift it to somebody if you want to give it to somebody for their birthday or whatever, then Marketplace.tf is your place to go. Also, if you want some keys, you can go and buy 10 keys and then enter in the code UNCLE at checkout to get one more key for absolutely free, courtesy of me. It's all coming out of my pocket. I mean, every time that you guys do it, I get a key taken out from my inventory, so please, do it while it lasts. I'm running out of keys. That's all totally false, but check it out. It's a great website. Anyway, without further ado, here is the recording of Getawhale's stream where we talk about the balance changes. Keep in mind that this is all live on his stream, so occasionally you will hear, like, it's funny in retrospect, but it's probably going to be annoying in the moment. There's occasionally sound cues for when people subscribe, or there's like random parts where there's really loud music from like people triggering things like donations or bits or something like that. So, and then there's also a really funny part, you guys will definitely notice it, where I don't even know what happened. I can't even figure it out. I still have to ask Getawhale about why this happens, but just randomly an air horn goes off for no reason, and it's so funny. In the video portion, Getawhale's face, he doesn't even flinch. It's like he's used to it. It's it's insane. Getawhale's stream is probably my favorite stream, so I'm glad to have gone on there and had a conversation with it. I'm glad you guys will be able to listen to it. Coming up right now, rolling the audio. Roll the audio. Roll the audio, Jimmy. Jimmy's not here. I don't know who Jimmy is. Roll the audio. Just roll it.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hey.
It's a really good idea to not use my toll-free number that costs money. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. Also, I've listened back on the times that I have called in, and phone quality is not good compared to Discord.
Oh, you think you sound ugly?
I think it just sound bad. Just not clear.
Sorry, I just had to switch off of push to talk because it would be more annoying. It's more like the phone now. I think you sound fine. I mean, the thing is, it's a toll-free number, so it's literally... That's kind of the charm and appeal of it. It's old-fashioned, you know? It's not like this new school voice over IP, you know?
What does toll-free mean?
It means toll-free in North America, so you can call it from any phone in North America, and you don't get charged anything for the call. Unless you're on a cell phone, or, you know, unless
What if I use a...
Well, unless you would normally get charged for calls. Yeah, I mean, if you use a payphone, you obviously pay in order to use that, but... There's no toll. There's no added toll added for calling this.
Did they add tolls?
No, it's toll-free.
No, I know, but do they normally add tolls to non-toll-free numbers?
Yeah, I don't think they call them tolls in 2017, but...
Yeah, I don't think my phone has a toll-free on it. Does it mean people are paying to call me? I just don't understand. It's such an old-fashioned technology.
Well, goodbye. No, not really.
Alright, well anyway, the panic attack looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know.
So we took calls from a bunch of people yesterday, and we were going to get you to call in because I thought it'd be interesting to see, because you were tweeting about it.
Yeah.
But you were pugging, and
yeah, I was.
Then by the time you were ready, we were done with the calls, because I took like 15 of them.
Yeah.
They were all the same. But you've had a day.
Mine's probably not going to be any different.
Well, I mean, that's fine. People like you. I'm just using you for your fame and fortune. Mostly the fortune.
Fine.
So I'm subbing to you every month. So, is a lot of engineer mains were pretty upset. How do you feel? You seem to be the voice of reason, as you always are.
Yeah, I don't really understand why they're upset. I think they're upset because, okay, so a lot of what a lot of engineer mains currently do with the Rescue Ranger is that they have their gun, right? And it starts taking damage, and instead of spending metal, which your gun will eat a lot of metal if you start healing it. Like it uses like 80 metal for like one swing, or it's something ridiculous. But I mean, you waste a lot of metal when you heal your gun, but it's not that big a deal because I feel like it's balanced. But the Rescue Ranger, you don't spend any of your metal when you heal it. You just spend your ammo, which you can easily get. So what a lot of engineers do is they spam 4 bolts at the Rescue Ranger to heal. I think it's, what is it, like 440 damage that they can heal with all 4 bolts. And then after they're done with that, then if they're still taking damage, then they can switch to the wrench. So it's kind of like a free heal, like with no real downside. I mean, you have to reload, but I mean, there's no real downside to healing, in my opinion. So adding a downside, I think, is the best way to go, because then there's actually a downside. I mean, like the Rescue Ranger is just such a good weapon.
Yeah.
Everybody
Now,
knows that it's like.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say that some people have suggested like other downsides. Like somebody yesterday suggested, you know, what if the further away you are, the less effective it is at healing your shit?
That's a neat idea, but the thing is, I think that would encourage players to not use it far away from their gun, which I think
somebody's
that's
answer
what
to
the
that
thing
was-
is used for.
Yeah, somebody's answer to that also was it would maybe encourage NGs to not place their dispenser in a way that benefits the team, but place it to where they want it for themselves.
I mean, I don't know. I think that you can easily place your dispenser where it's beneficial for you and your team. You don't have to like give it to your team and then just like say, well, that's theirs. I'm not going to heal it or deal with it anymore. Like, there's definitely ways to have the best of both worlds, I think. I think people who are making that excuse are the kind of people that already do that.
Maybe. So you don't think this is the engineer killer? That people
No,
are making
I
it out to
actually,
be?
I mean, people are probably going to hate me for saying it, but I think that I was expecting an even worse buff, or a nerf, rather.
Mhm.
And I would have accepted an even worse nerf.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I think that we got off pretty easy, to be honest. I was expecting to lower the health maybe from 60 to 50, which would have been fine, in my opinion. That would have mean 4 shots would have healed 200.
Mhm.
Which means that you wouldn't even get it back up to full health technically.
Yeah.
Because it's 216 on a level 3.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I think that, I mean, I'm not going to tell Valve this because I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet, but I will whenever I decide. But I personally think that it deserves an even worse nerf.
Mhm.
But
that's what,
like I said, a lot of people
Kobe and
probably
some
don't want to
people
hear
are-
that.
No, I mean, a lot of people are, I think, agree. I think that it's, I'm not trying to shit on engineer mains, but it seems like the NGs are kicking up a big stink about it because it is like the quintessential weapon, to borrow a word from Stabby's letter that we just looked at. It's quintessential, but Valve have made it very clear for like 2 years or something now that they don't want any particular unlock to be quintessential that you have to use, that 99% of people use. And so it's fun to have a great weapon that's awesome, but they don't want that, and that
It should be more situational than it is, because right now it's just like you're playing defense NG, like with level 3s, well, you got to use a Rescue Ranger because it's just really good. It makes your gun even better because you can heal it at any distance, and you can fucking teleport it still. Like, teleporting on its own is already really powerful. So healing, I feel like that's like, I don't know, that's the kick that makes it a little overpowered, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish that we could play with these weapons. Like, I wish that the TF2 beta was open so that we could go and
Yeah.
like, test this out.
More
Because
and
I'm
more people
curious
are
to see
saying
if it
that.
actually matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all yesterday when we were talking about all of this, I mean, people were making their suggestions for NG and stuff like that, and I was making the point, which I don't know if I've thought of it myself or if I've just heard it from you, but like engineer is still like the biggest enigma of a class to try to figure out for Valve, you know? Like they're still we can't figure out what engineer is or isn't yet. We're still working on it, you know?
Yeah. He's one of those classes very much like Spy, where if you make him too good, then it'll be ridiculous. But if you make him too weak, then what's the point of it even existing, you know? So
Yeah.
it's a really fine line. And they so far have it, I think that they're heading in the right direction. I'm hoping that with these nerfs, they kind of give him a little bit more options for support. I want him to become less of a defensive class and more of a supportive class, because defensive classes being too strong this game kind of will ruin the competitive aspect of it.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people think that, and that's the big problem that people have with Engineer and Heavy, is that they're too defensive, but they should be more
Versatile.
well, I think NG should be more support, and I think that Heavy should be more combat based instead of like you should be more aggressive.
More multifaceted, less of like a one note type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. It should be more interesting. Well, that's the main complaint that people have about Heavy. So he's boring.
Somebody asked in chat your thoughts on the panic attack. They said, do you think, and I know that you've used the panic attack like me, like for fun on the engineer class, at times?
Yeah.
Does it make it... Their wording is, new panic attack viable for battle NG thoughts. And I think, I mean, not to put words in your mouth, I think that we need to see it still first, because even though they described it pretty well, it's still kind of hard to envision, like, what's the spread look like and stuff? What do you think?
Uh-huh. Well, the thing is with when you use it on engineer, it's your primary. That's very different from the other 3 classes that use it. They use it as a secondary.
Yep.
And I think that what Valve is intending to do is to make it better as a secondary.
Right.
Because to be honest,
said
the
that
panic attack as it
specifically.
exists now, and to be honest, the panic attack as it exists now is fine as an engineer battle, like a battle engineer weapon.
I never
it's
thought
fine.
of that, actually. That's a really good point, because the point they made was that, you know, if you want it as a secondary, the example I think of is like Soldier or something like that. If you're out of like rockets or whatever, you want to have immediate damage output. You don't want to have to charge up shots before it'll shoot. But it's actually very different, you know. This is why we get you on, Dane, because you're smart. You think of these things.
Well, I made a video about the panic attack, and the whole time I was like, man, this is awful for like like 3/4 of the classes
Everyone
that this
else,
is applicable on. Yeah, but for the engineer, lucky for me, this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's a very good point. So, I mean, how do you think it'll translate? I mean, do you think it'll be worse now for the NG, or it won't matter?
I have no idea, because I can't, like, these stats are not, I can't, like, predict how they will play in a game.
Yeah.
I feel like, I wish I knew how to mod games, like, I knew how to mod weapons for, like, personal servers so that I could go into a server and test it out. But it seems like it would be interesting. The 50% faster switch speed, I don't know how that will work on engineer, because you don't really switch to your other weapons that much as engineer. Maybe you switch to your wrench, I guess.
Has NG ever had
I don't know.
NG's never had a faster weapon switch weapon, right?
Well, the panic attack, actually, you switch to it faster.
Oh, really?
You switch to it faster.
Okay.
But it says 50% faster switch speed, so I think it's just 50%. Yeah, switch off and on. Because the panic attack very specifically says that you switch to it faster. But you don't switch away from it faster.
Weird.
So I don't know if they just didn't specify that, but I mean, for the engineer, say you're using the short circuit, like you can probably whip it out faster so that you can delete rockets that are closer to you easier. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Interesting.
But because it's 50% more pellets, but 30% less damage, that seems very similar to an existing weapon already, which is the shortstop, I think. The shortstop has that kind of thing going for it, where it has more pellets, but it's less damage, right?
But you can
correct me if I'm wrong on that.
shove.
I don't know. Well, you can shove. Maybe they
shove.
should add engineer to shove. But I mean, the way that the shortstop seems to work is that if you have your crosshair on somebody at medium range, then you'll do more damage. But at close range, it's technically slightly worse.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So it might be a better medium range weapon than the shotgun, but I have no idea. That's just me, like, guessing. I
think we really need to see the shot pattern. Like, I can't. Is it square like the scatter gun? Is it different than that?
Well, it's cool. They say that it's a fixed pattern. So for this,
regardless
weapon
of server settings.
They've disabled random bullet spread on this weapon. Only.
That was interesting to me too. It's
that suggests that they're not going to disable it server-wide for Valve servers, which kind of makes me upset.
Yeah, well, you know,
because otherwise
small
that
steps
stat doesn't mean anything.
Let's not go to hell with it. Let's not go crazy. I mean, what else? What other thoughts? I mean, you know, we can talk about this as long as you want, really. You got the floor, my man.
I don't like the ambassador change. I already tweeted about this, but it doesn't seem to be going in the right direction.
Did you see
like
when we were discussing
that they are
Stabby's
aware?
line?
Yeah. I've been since he started today.
Do you feel similarly or not similarly?
I think his suggestions are kind of ridiculous. I don't think that. I mean, it says "and" obviously. Like he wants it to. I don't think that removing the 1 second cooldown on headshots is a good idea at all.
Sure.
But I don't know if 60 damage headshot is a good idea either. I think that fall off damage would be best. That way, if you're closer, you will get a lot of damage on a headshot. But if you are farther away, then you will get a headshot, but it will do like 20 damage. So it won't even really matter. So you shouldn't even really go for those. So
Do you think that's such a big difference? I mean, we saw the all they're doing is doing the bullet spread reduced by 50, and we showed the graphic on screen of how.
Oh, I know, but
still...
you got to understand, RNG in this game is not a good idea. Because what'll happen is, what if you're far away with the ambassador and you take a shot at some guy, and one of two things could happen. You could put your crosshair directly on their head, and you have the shot, and you deserve it, but you don't get it because of that, and that's frustrating for the player. Or turn the other direction, which is you put your crosshair very close to their head, but you don't hit it, but you fire, and you should have missed, but because of the 50% spread, you actually do hit their head. So that player, getting a headshot from far away, are they going to be sitting there thinking, oh, did he actually deserve that headshot or not? Yeah. Now, who knows?
And I get that, and that's fair. And a lot of people have pointed that out, which is true, that, the more RNG, the worse off we'll be. But some of the points we made, or one of the points we made yesterday in discussing all this, is that is the question of, does the spy need to be the sniper?
No, the spy is not the sniper, actually.
No, but does the spy need to be able to get headshots from far away at all?
No.
Does he need to be able to get headshots at all from anywhere?
I think that maybe. I don't know. I don't really like the existence of the ambassador, but I'm fine with it being a thing, I guess.
Because the point that people were making,
at close range,
maybe
it's
mostly
fine.
Me, but the point is, the spy can already one-hit kill stab. He can already go invisible for as long as he wants. He can dress up as whoever he wants. He can feign death already. But seriously, he does so much already. Does he need to also have headshots available? It's just 2 classes, isn't it, that can get headshot? Or, is it just 2? I'm stupid about TF2,
No, you're right.
But, there's already a class called the sniper.
Yeah. The thing is is that the sniper gets 150 damage headshots, and the spy gets 102, which, it doesn't seem that far off, but he can't even one-shot any class except for classes that are running loadouts make their health lower than 100. But I get where you're coming from, but I don't think Valve is going to realistically just remove the headshot portion of the ambassador. I think that would be, probably have a riot on our hands, to be honest. But
so do you think if they do this 50% bullet spread reduction, do you think they still then should also do damage fall off like you suggested?
I think that they shouldn't do the 50% reduced bullet spread at all. I think that they should give up on that. They should do damage fall off or something similar to make it so that you can still get your headshots at close range, but at further ranges you can't. And the reason why I don't just say, oh, why don't they just make it so at a certain distance headshots don't work? I think it would be frustrating for a player to have to constantly guess if they're in that range or not, because you can't tell.
Sure.
So I think that the damage fall off would be fine, because if you're right up close to somebody, then the ambassador or your gun is going to be your option if they're not facing their back towards you. So the ambassador kind of rewards the accuracy in that way, because you can headshot them, do a little bit more damage, but the cooldown makes it so you can't just keep spamming their head over and over. So I feel like at close range, it is fair because it rewards that accuracy. But at long range, it's not fair because the spy as a class, design-wise, is not a sniper. He should be close range class for the most part.
And it's interesting just looking at Valve's explanation that they wrote for this. They didn't say anything about, because for some of their goals for other weapon nerfs or changes, they specifically said they want to still reward accuracy. But for the ambassador change, they said they want to reduce the effective combat range to something more reasonable and expected with the spy. It's interesting wording to me. I'm not trying to make any point by that, but it's just an interesting way to put it.
I get what you're saying. It's almost like whoever decided to make these changes to the ambassador didn't have the same overall goal that the rest of these changes are made regarding. Because if you look at the rest of these changes, you'll notice that they're talking about risk versus reward and things like that, which is all really good and healthy for a competitive format. But the ambassador doesn't really seem to have that theme to it. Mainly because it's just 50%. Who half the time you hit it. That's not the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm intending. I think I kind of agree with what you're saying. The fall off would be a good idea. What are some other changes that stick out to you?
I'm just gonna talk about the ones that I don't like because obviously if I do like it, then I just won't bring it up.
Yeah, cool.
The Sandman seems like it's in the right direction, but I don't think that players will enjoy getting slowed by a random ass ball from far away.
No, but I mean it's an improvement though, isn't it? Still.
It is a huge improvement. I like the direction it's going, but I still think it needs to be nerfed even further.
So what
I
would
think
you do?
that
No slow at all? What would the ball do?
no
then?
slow at all. I think that it should mark them for death. I think that it should mark them for death for a very significant amount of time, like maybe like 8 seconds or something. That way you can like
Or maybe
tag
have
somebody
it
with a
scale.
ball and then be like, that guy's marked.
Maybe have it scale
yeah,
from
or-
distance.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good idea too. That way it rewards long range balls a little bit better.
Interesting.
I don't understand why they increased the base damage from 15 to 30. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, wow, cool.
I guess they had a word quota on the article or something.
Yeah.
To add stuff in.
Yeah. that'd be so they're like, we got to get more words on this thing.
Gotta get my word count.
Yeah, it's like an essay.
So you think the sand? I mean, people are happy about it, I think, because nobody likes getting stunned and not being able to fight back, and you can fight back now,
Yeah.
which is great. So
Being
people
able-
are
yeah.
cool with that, but
Being able to fight back is fine, but the thing is, it's like getting stunned, like, I don't know, not being able to move, I think, was my thing that I didn't like, because I couldn't
Really?
escape, yeah,
but if
because
you could
I mean,
fight
like, being able to
a
fight back
scout
is one
so
thing.
Small.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if I'm 1v1ing a scout and he domes me with a ball, then yeah, that sucks because he's just gonna run up to me and shoot me. So if I am still able to fight back, then I can just shoot him as he walks at me. But say I get domed by a baseball from far away, he's not gonna be able to come and run at me in time anyway. So now I'm just sitting there not playing the game. Like it's just not
Yeah.
fun anymore.
True.
And I think that if I'm slowed down, I'm still going to have that bit of frustration. I get frustrated when I play against the Natasha. So, I mean, and that's just when they're shooting me. I don't know. I think that it's definitely way better than it used to be. It's just that I think that people are still going to not like it. I think people are going to be like, goddamn Sandman hit me. Like, he didn't even, like, the thing is, it's not easy to hit a ball from that far away.
Yeah.
To the point where if you get hit by a ball, like if you get moonshot by a ball, then they weren't aiming at you. They were just spamming it. So it's just not fun.
Sometimes debatable. I mean,
Have you hit moonshots on purpose?
Sometimes. Some people stand still because
Whoa.
they're too stupid. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I guess
I'm not
so.
talking about, a platinum match here. I'm talking about, we're talking about
Yeah.
pubs because that's where it's used the most, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
And most people are upset that the Sandman Cleaver combo is gone, but I mean, how often did you see that? You didn't see it. It's like
Enough.
Reddit
Enough.
and,
You ever
and
watch
they
my
all
stream?
go, yeah.
Enough. It happens enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't see it that much.
defending it. There are some people that are sad and upset that it's gone. I can't tell if they're trolling because it's Reddit, and everyone's
Yeah, that's
clever
the thing.
12-year-olds, but
It reminds me of the Bison. I mean, not to the degree of the Bison, obviously, but it reminds me of it because the Bison wasn't very good before, and the Sandman Cleaver combo.
it was fun though.
It
The
wasn't.
Bison was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was a big user of the Bison. It was my favorite. I have a pros kill streak Bison because of how much I used it.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm not a very good uncle for debating fun
Century
with
man.
people,
Yeah.
but I mean, to me, fun is it's related to being good. Like, I'm gonna have fun using something that's really effective.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't really have that same mindset, especially in
Brain
public
power.
servers. They think that if it's silly, then it's fun. Doesn't matter if it's actually doing anything.
The thing that bugged me about the Sandman Cleaver combo was that players were just, these scouts were just, there was no skill involved to it. They were relying on getting in a hallway with you where they could hit their ball really easily and then go hide behind a corner. And then they'd come out around the corner again and hit right click again with their little knife. And then if you weren't dead, they didn't know what to do. They would run around, and this is what I always say on stream, is like, and I'd call them adorable, because it's all they do. They right-click their ball, they right-click their cleaver. If you're a bigger class and you're not dead then, maybe they can come in and try to hit a shot, but usually not, if I'm being honest. And so it was kind of just like this weird ace in the hole thing that would usually work for them, and they didn't have to shoot anything. And then it would refresh super fast. And I'm not against fun. I used to, 2 or 3 years ago, when I discovered how fun those items can be, I did it a little bit. It was great. But I, like you, like to use my skill in a game rather than roll the dice, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
What other things did you not like that comes to mind?
I have a feeling Pretty Boy's pocket pistol, at first I was like, oh, no one's going to use that. But then on reinspection, I think that it'll be used as much as the pistol on Scout, if not more. It seems really good.
A lot of
I
people
don't
were saying
know
for competitive,
it's a good idea.
It's a good like flank weapon for a flanking scout, even in 6s.
Well, because the pocket scout's going to get healed anyway, so the flank scout's pretty much up to getting packs. But if hitting shots with your pistol is your health pack, then
somebody made a good comparison to the black box, which I thought was a very apropos comparison. Yeah.
Very true, very true. But the thing is, it's weird. You don't see the black box very often in competitive. But
they changed it a little bit and fucking. People played around with it, and I think the nerf that they did, people were upset with that, and they kind of moved off it. But I mean, the black box could still be maybe a utility kind of deal. I don't know. But I mean, I think at the very least, people are going to experiment with the new pocket pistol. At the least.
At the very least.
At the least. Leaks.
I think the Criticola changes. I'm glad that they're looking to change it, but I don't think they completely understand what is good about it. Because these changes, what was good about it? Well, actually, okay, I'll take that back. They understand half of what is good about it.
Right.
The speed bonus was what broke the weapon, so they removed that. Good on them.
Yep.
But they also removed the 10 damage penalty taken, and then they made it so that when you shoot your weapon for the first time, you get marked for death. But the thing is, what makes the Criticola so good and competitive specifically is because you can run to mid, and all you have to do is just flank their med or get close to their medic and then one-shot him. Like, you can kill him in one shot. And that's not very fun. So if you see a scout running towards your medic, he's not going to take any extra damage at all, and he's going to be able to do more damage until he's already killed your medic. So at that point, it just turns the scout into like a sack class, where he just sacrifices his life basically so that he can get a better trade. And I don't know if I like that. I think that it'll make the mid fight meta really annoying, because the medic is just going to be sitting there waiting for a scout to come out of nowhere and one-shot him. And he can't do anything about it until he's already done it. There's no way to punish a scout who has bad positioning, or to punish a scout that you can see coming, because he doesn't take extra damage until he's already hit his shot, basically. And then higher skill levels, they're going to hit their shot.
What I would like to know is, and I asked this yesterday too, what was the problem with having it be, when it's when you drink the damn thing, you give crits and you take crits? That's what it was way back in the caveman days. What was the problem with that? Why did they?
There wasn't a problem with it.
Nothing.
I don't know.
They that would be perfect though, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think the reason that they,
what you just talked about, if they're running there and they're marked for death while they're running there, it's perfect. You just shoot at them and kill the fucking thing.
I think it's fine to be like, okay, you don't get a pistol, but every once in a while you can take mini crits and give mini crits. That seems fair. That's risk reward. Like, that's the definition of risk reward.
Right. That's what I've always said. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the reason that they changed it before is because people weren't using it as much, because in pubs, taking mini crits every once in a while is not a very good way to play scout.
People are babies.
So at the time they were only balancing for pubs, so I think that they were just like, well, we got to make it better for pubs, so if the scout can run faster, they can run away from the 12 people that are chasing him. So but now things are different. I think it needs to go back to the way it was before.
The world has changed.
I think that'd be great.
It's 2017 now.
People can feel it in the water.
Some people are bringing up numbers saying that it's not a one-shot on a medic, but that's kind of semantics. It's kind of irrelevant to your point, which was that
Still
You know,
taking a medic down. What is it, like 140 or something
130,
ridiculous?
someone said, or something like that. But that's
I
irrelevant
mean,
to your point, which
might
was
as well be
that
dead.
the scout is in no danger until they take that first shot. Oh, hold on, we got a resub from your boy, actually. You know this guy, Comet, the boy. Comet the boy. That's 14 months. Kelly
I like
Clarkson. Take it away, Kelly Clarkson. What'd you say? How is Comet?
I like Comet, is what I said.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about how he is.
How
I just like him.
Comet, how are you? Dane wants to know how is ya? Yeah, sorry for that. I had to let Kelly Clarkson sing her little song. What other bits did we want to talk about?
I'm scrolling around. Okay, the man treads, I was like, that seems fun. And then I saw a video. Maybe I can link it to you. It's kind of boring to watch, but somebody
watched the
edited.
video and we watched it yesterday
Oh, you
on
did?
stream. And actually, we went on a server yesterday and tried it ourselves. We're not sure if we were using the correct server variable, because there's a variable for air excel, but there's a new server variable that was added around Meet Your Match, supposedly, called like mod air control. So I sent Jill a message to ask him, like, just for clarification on. I think they work similarly. I think they're pretty similar, but yeah, we tried it yesterday and we saw the video and it's pretty substantial.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that noticeable.
Yeah,
but it is like pretty ridiculous. Like, somebody who is good at air control already is going to be able to basically never get air shot in their life.
Every soldier already, any soldier that is comfortable enough rocket jumping knows about strafing and air control anyway, and a lot of them are really good at it anyway now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
fuck. But I mean, the question is, on the other hand, yes, that's strong, but and some people were talking about actually some examples in competitive, in sixes, in invite actually, where Milo was one name that was mentioned, but where some soldiers would play with the man treads already in kind of specific usages, like that, you couldn't get, your jumps couldn't get interrupted and stuff like that. But
the knockback.
Yeah, because of the knockback reduction. But you got to consider, if you're using the man treads, you're giving up shotgun / gunboats. I mean, they're still not, do people
giving
still
up the
move away
gunboats
from those,
is, I think that the main issue people are going to have with it is giving up the gunboats, because you'll take a lot of damage. But people brought up the fact, like, I was reading a lot of Team Fortress.tv stuff yesterday, and people brought up that if you're playing roamer, if you're just going in for the bomb, then you taking extra damage doesn't really mean a whole lot, especially in your first jump, because if you just get a buff and then jump, and then you're basically unable to be hit in midair ever until you land, then that'll be a pretty good bombing weapon on its own, almost to the point where the gunboats kind of reward you for missing your bomb, but if you can hit your bomb pretty well, then it just makes it so that you're harder to hit while you bomb. So it'll be interesting. I'm scared and excited to see what some good soldiers do with it, because I'm afraid that I'll be sitting in tunnel on upward and somebody will just air strafe like all the way through the tunnel vertically to kill me.
How about if someone imagine if a soldier could jump and hit a double rocket bomb on a medic and land on their head with the man.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that if you land on someone's head, then you do a ton of damage.
If the medic lives, depending how much of the rocket hit them. It'd be interesting.
That would be so funny. Yeah, because they'll
Goomba.
be able to basically just jump, hit them with a couple rockets, and then as they try and surf away, they can air control towards them and then hit them in the head.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That'll be interesting.
I'm not playing medic.
It's another one where we want to see, we can, like we said, we can do the effect now more or less in servers using server variables, but it'd be interesting to see how it is in actual play. It's one thing to rocket jump around upward alone, but it's another thing to actually use it and kind of, theory craft.
Yeah.
Imagine if like some of the old school soldiers from comp were still around. Like imagine Seagull in his prime, like playing around with this. Fucking terrifying.
Maybe he'll come back just because they changed. Wouldn't that be funny if Seagull came back to TF2 because they buffed the man treads?
Yeah.
That's what got him back.
I'd want him checked for brain damage if he did that. No offense, Valve.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Uh,
What else?
let's see. The Vitasaw seems interesting, but I was
Yeah.
talking with a medic main friend of mine, and he's saying that the Ubersaw still is better, but the Vitasaw is better in a situation where you're expecting to die more often. So
Yeah.
basically, better medics will make better use of the Ubersaw, but worse medics will make better use of the Vitasaw because they won't expect to get out of a fight where they land saws.
That's an interesting
So if you're
point.
like a nursey
Yeah, we had a
and you're
lot
hitting
of-
saws and killing people, then you're gonna basically want to use that instead.
We had a lot of talk about this yesterday too. Like this is one that we talked about the most. Now, in fairness, half of it was
Yeah?
trying to make sure everyone was clear on how it works. But you know, yeah, it's interesting. Like the instinct, the initial gut reaction was like, oh well, this is just a worse Ubersaw. But when you think more about it, it's really a different use situation than the Ubersaw
Yeah.
because, like you said, you can get your hits in with your thing. You don't have to live. You don't have to even get to 100 at all. You can't anyway with the new Vitasaw. But you know, say if you have an Ubersaw and you get to say 75 and then someone kills you, well, you're fucking, it's gone. Your Uber's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas they
It
can't
doesn't
take it
matter.
away from you now. They can kill you, but you're still gonna have it. So it's different. It's
Yes.
very different and different enough that you know, you can't.
I think it's
dismiss it.
fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool because you'll see people using the Vitasaw or the Ubersaw, and it'll kind of say what it'll kind of like say something about how they think of their medic skills.
Yeah,
They're like, I'm
maybe.
expecting to die. I'm going to use the Vitasaw, or I am an epic medic main. I will use the Ubersaw.
Maybe you can't pick what fights you might get into when you leave the spawn, though, can you?
Yeah, but I mean, you can. I mean, in competitive, maybe you can gauge the team you're against and be like, this team's good. I expect to die against them.
Or
a lot.
your
this
your own
team's
play style too.
Yeah, that's very true, which I think is good. The Crusader's crossbow, I don't know much about arrow building, but I know that they've nerfed it, so that's good. Although I still think that the Crusader's crossbow is too good compared to his other weapons, so I kind of want them to buff the needle guns rather than nerf the Crusader's crossbow as it is now.
Some Redditors have mentioned that a little bit. Say what you will about Redditors, but some people are, they're thinking less of make the crossbow shit and more, can we make some of the fucking primaries for medic worth looking at, please?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because they haven't really. I mean, there was the what's that one? The amputator or whatever that, or no, not the amputator, whatever that shitty little one is. You know what I'm saying? The overdose. The overdose they made changes to, but other than that, I mean, they haven't done anything with like needles or I don't know.
They can make the overdose good by making it so you don't have to have it like out in order to get the speed boost based on your Uber percentage.
Yeah.
That way your Uber percentage goes up, your speed goes up in general. I think that would be fine. That would be a good way to kind of make it so that medics who just like speeding around without a scout on their medigun would be nice. Or maybe it'll stack. I don't know. They can run faster than the scout
Jesus
they're healing
Christ.
if they're
We
at
should
100%.
bring back needle boosting where you could jump with needles like in the
Somebody
T2
mentioned
beta.
that. What the fuck is that?
Needle jumping. Yeah, it was a thing.
I didn't even know you could do
It
that. That's
existed.
funny.
Yeah, very.
That would be interesting.
Nobody here would have done that probably. Listening. Imagine if they did bring that back. Imagine if they added a mechanic where the medic could somehow boost himself and jump. That'd be crazy. Not that he needs it, but
I mean, he's got the quick fix, but
yeah,
quick fix is already too good.
yeah.
I think that's gonna be on the chopping block. The next blog post that they make. I think they're gonna make another one. I think that they're gonna make another one pretty soon, like in the next couple weeks.
I said it would be cool if they made one that like, you know, if you were when you were like when your parents used to be like, okay, we're gonna get ice cream when we get home, but then if you were bad, they were like, forget it, you're not getting the ice cream. It'd be cool. If
Yeah,
Valve
it's
was
all
just like
based on our reactions
Valve
here.
came out today like, that's it, we're not doing any of it. You're
Fucking spy mains
you
keep
acted
spamming our
up.
email.
You're not getting any of these. Forget about it. Gonna wait another year. Do any of the heavy things interest you at all? Mostly the melee ones. There was someone asking in chat about the Fists of Steel. Do you have any thoughts on any of that? I think the Fist of Steel change
Fist
was
of
pretty
Steel?
good.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that it'll actually affect the way that that's used already, because people just use it to push the cart.
Yeah, well,
They
that's what I
just use
said.
it to,
You're
like-
on Swiftwater or whatever. You just get out, you do your cart thing.
That's so weird. Like when I imagine the Fist of Steel being used, I imagine a
Always
heavy pushing
on
Swiftwater second.
Yeah, I played in UGC. That's why, and I was heavy. That's
Okay.
why I imagine it.
I think that's where I saw the Fist of Steel used the most is Swiftwater second, because he would
This
just
makes
like
sense.
walk out of the tunnel
Yeah.
and just sit there for a bit and be useless. But
That stupid little bridge
the,
that it has to cross right at the start.
yeah, the overheal penalty and the healing rate penalty are only affected when you have it active. So if you really wanted to get a buff before you go and do something with it, you would just take your minigun out, get a buff from the medic at normal speed, and then you can take your Fist of Steel out and then just go and do it. But if you have them out, you can't be tanked, which is fine, because then you can't just sit there and be arrowed from the tunnel as you push the cart, which was what was frustrating about it, because you basically just have to run up and melee him. That's fine. The eviction notice doesn't deserve the nerf that it got, I think. I think that it's fine as it is.
Yeah.
I think that I mean, you don't run that fast with it. It's just kind of a slight thing.
But I mean,
and
I've been told
it doesn't do any damage at all.
I mean, I was watching a Highlander or maybe a 7v7, whatever that is, event recently where I was questioning them. Yeah, it must have been 7v7 because they had that. Anyways, they were banning eviction notice, but I was informed because I haven't followed Highlander. I don't give a shit about Highlander. I'll be honest, it's just my personal preference. But apparently the eviction notice is like what all the heavies are using instead of GRU. It's like a straight upgrade to the GRU, is what I was told in this chat this day. Now Twitch can be
I
wrong.
don't believe it is.
No.
It's just lower risk, and you get kind of this similar reward, but it's not. I mean, the thing is, I like to use it because if I have it out and somebody I don't see them, they're gonna shoot me for a ton of damage. And so while I am running faster than I normally would with the eviction notice, I'm taking more damage from people I don't see, or if I don't put it away in time, then I get punished heavily. I love fighting heavies that don't know how to put away their GRU in time, because I just run up to them and I shoot them before they can even spin up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they melt. So the eviction notice, it's not a straight upgrade because you don't run as fast as you would, but you have to be, I mean, I'm not a heavy main, so I feel like in order to use the GRU effectively, you have to know where the enemy team is. You have to have better awareness.
You have to time it.
So,
yeah. I mean, I use the eviction notice mostly in pubs just for fucking fun because people never know what's
yeah, because you can
happening.
punch them and then you speed
They're
towards
like, why
them.
is he fast now?
And it's so fast to fire it that you're probably going to get a bunch of random crits in
I
there.
do. I have highlights on my channel
Just
of me
melt
doing it.
people. It's great.
Interesting that the max health drain is half of what the GRU one is, though.
Yeah,
found that
well,
interesting.
it's trying to keep its
Fairly even.
Well, the thing is, it's trying to keep its reputation as the GRU Light, which is what everybody calls the or the GRU Junior. Everybody calls the eviction notice like the baby version.
GRU Jew.
So
Has anyone thought of that yet? GRU Jew?
no, I mean, I
Write that
think
down.
it's
Someone
fine.
want to run to the patent office real quick for me?
GRU Jew.
GRU Jew. My new my next emote.
I think that the gloves are running urgently might be a result of the Sixes community directly, because they have always complained that the thing that they don't like about the gloves running urgently is that you show up at mid with 450 health, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
So, or not
Right.
fun. I mean, but the way that this is working out, it seems fine, because that way if you use it to run to mid, then you say it takes 10 seconds to run to mid, which I think it takes longer than that. I think it takes 14 or 15 seconds. That means you show up at mid with 200, 150 health. That's, you know, that's not very good. So it might discourage using it for rollouts and more encourage it for escaping, which I think is fine.
No thoughts on the sniper stuff? Don't care.
Did we skip it?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. The reason we skipped it is because I like them both.
Oh, okay,
I think
yeah.
that they're great.
Yeah.
I think that
Snipers
the
are very happy
Razorback
about
needed to be, yes, the Razorback needed to be nerfed for competitive, but it doesn't need to be nerfed for pubs, because in pubs there's 5 spies. One of them's going to stab your Razorback for some reason, and then now you have to go back to spawn, so you might as well have died anyway.
Yeah.
So So I think that's a really good
I just love your
trade-off.
assertion of it's a pub. There's 5 spies.
You just have to make that assumption.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be like that. So
But you're right.
the
There are
Darwin's
5
Danger
spies.
Shield, I'm glad that they redesigned it completely.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that it's cool that it's like the anti-pyro thing, which is going to be nice because pyros are going to be played a lot. I
Well,
think,
the
when
sniper
pyro
metagame
comes
was
out.
fixed. That's what the sniper mains were like having a mess of themselves about
Really?
yesterday. Oh,
I didn't read too much about that.
If you don't know anything about the snipers and their lives and what they like, the sniper v sniper metagame.
Oh no! Oh, you're talking about the way that the Darwin's Danger Shield works currently?
No, the way that it used to work. The health.
Well,
I mean, there's not much to
it works
explain. It's
currently.
basically, yeah, no, the way that it used to, or yeah, the way that currently, you know what I mean, yeah, is that
Yeah,
you know you had to wear it if you were in
Mm-hmm.
competitive, because if you weren't,
Someone
wearing
else
the
was
other guy
using it, then you
was.
had to
Yeah,
use it.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're happy.
And it punished you for hitting quick scopes because it's just like, oh, you don't actually get the kill on him. Now he's running away to get health.
Yeah, they were happy about it, and people seem like they're fine with the new. It seemed like a little strange and I don't know, random to me, but I guess it makes sense. I guess flare spamming and shit is a thing, so.
Yeah, a lot of snipers actually opt to use the backpack that gives you health back. I forget what it's called.
The cozy camper.
Yeah, a lot of sniper mains, like a Pazer, for instance, he really likes using it in pubs because if he gets flared, if he's fully charged, then he doesn't flinch from it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really affect his aim at all.
Yeah, the no flinching.
So
is
I
nice.
think that this is kind of like a better version of that. And then now the cozy camper is more of a health regeneration thing, more than an anti-pyro thing, because that's what I've always thought it was used for, is just countering getting flared.
Mm-hmm.
So this is directly that, which
We're
I think
doing
is
it.
neat.
They're doing it. Valve, thank
Doing it.
you.
They're doing it, dude.
So do you think
They're so good.
What do you think overall? I mean, do you think they're gonna make any changes? There's any big crazy things they need to change with this, or do you think what will Valve come and say next? If you had to guess, not gonna hold you
Like
to
what?
it, but you know.
Like, what do I think they're gonna change about these based on community feedback?
Yeah, I mean, do you think they'll make big, huge changes, or do you think they'll push it mostly through how they've described it?
Based on the feedback I've seen so far, I think that they're not going to go through with the ambassador changes. I think that that's been the most polarizing so far.
Yeah.
I think that they might change the... I'm afraid that they're going to change the base jumper because there has been a lot of confusion around why they're banning it.
Really?
But I think it's because nobody's seen it used at high level. A lot of people see like dumbass soldiers just sitting in midair, and they're like, I don't understand why they're hard to hit. They're just sitting there. But like,
That's what everyone
you've never
is
played
saying.
against a soldier who knows how to
I
airstrike.
never knew they were
Yeah.
hard to hit. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
mostly that's what I'm thinking too. Most of the people I see using it are these new people that unlocked it in the game, and then they're like, "Oh, the airstrike! I can use this with it and use them together, and I'll be unstoppable." And then they proceed to do that for a half hour, get 0 kills, and fucking
Exactly.
yeah.
So I'm worried that Valve will see the feedback about the base jumper, the confusion at least, and be like, oh, we actually don't need to change it. But I'm hoping that will be countered by people in competitive being like, no, don't do that, because it's too good. It's too good in competitive, or at least in the hands of a soldier who knows how to press A and D.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find things that I think that they might change before, like the things that they might say. Oh, we heard your feedback. Here's what we're gonna actually do to it. I think that's it. Actually, I think that the ambassador is definitely going to be changed. I think that enough people have complained about it so far.
Yeah. How much
The Dead
Reddit
Ringer
have you
seems
read
fine.
since yesterday?
I've been reading pretty much everything everybody's been saying. Yeah.
Do you like it? I was planning on last night on making one of my classic videos where I reread where I
You
read out
should.
Reddit comments, but I decided
You really should.
against it. But yeah, there's some real good ones.
One thing I thought was funny is that there was like 1,000 upvotes on a comment that was like, the atomizer is going to be like the market gardener per scout. But like, the scout does 35 base damage with his
Yeah,
melee
I saw
weapon.
that. I saw that.
So a mini crit on a 35, and it already does less damage to players. It does 15% less damage. So it's actually like, I want to say it's like 20 damage. So put a mini crit on 20 damage, and that's your market gardener. I don't understand why people think that that'll be like actually used. They probably it's like that whole mindset where they're like, I don't care if it's effective, it's fun because it's silly.
This is a cartoon game for babies. That's my favorite one. This is you seem pretty serious about your cartoon game. I have a Reddit post on the screen right now. If Banny suggested any of these above changes, then seriously, just go ask someone else. Because WTF, honestly. They're still hating on Banny. God. And this person then goes on. They go on to say a bunch of weapons are still bad, including the Demo Knight. Demo Knight is still really extremely bad. Engine Man is already garbage. Don't nerf Rescue Ranger. Did you think the Engine Man is already garbage?
No.
He is.
Not in pubs. I mean, have you played Badwater? Come on.
What is Badwater? I only play Suijin. I just get on Suijin and I keep trying to build my sentry up on the fucking... I don't know.
I know where they try and build it and then a soldier jumps up there and says no thanks.
I just do that for 3 hours every night before I go to bed.
I don't change my strategy at all.
I just ran my head against this concrete wall for an hour every night till it hurts too much. Yeah, Reddit was pretty good, but I don't know. I felt like I couldn't tell who was trolling and who wasn't on Reddit, unfortunately, which is sad. Everyone's posts were exactly the same. Everyone sat down and they listed every single weapon.
Yeah, it started to get like that after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started skipping over the ones that weren't highly commented.
But it's a lot of fun to sort by controversial, because then you get the downvoted ones the most.
Yeah.
That's the most
I'm sure those are great.
Yeah. That's how you make good. That's how you make those posts. That's how you make those videos.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe I'll actually play TF2 now and get my You said you were playing casual yesterday, and it was mostly people using these new weapons that are gonna get changed.
I thought that was really funny. I never see the critical in pubs, and I saw so many scouts using it. I saw a lot of I was fighting against 2 snipers. I was playing Spy, luckily, who were using the Darwin's Danger Shield, and Pazer was not happy about that because he was trying to snipe them both, and he doesn't like stooping to their level. But he, I just noticed so many of those weapons that were on the chopping block are being used now because I think people are trying to. I assume they're trying to like get in their last bullshit kills before they take away their fun. I don't know.
This is a post that says Valve still has no fucking idea how to balance this game. Everything balanced around random crits and idiots.
I like the way that's read.
Yeah. Maybe
probably exactly how he typed it.
Yeah. So there's some. There was one really good one I won't be able to find now, but there was this guy who was like, he said something about. Maybe I could find it in my Discord, but he was saying that he was tying it into the community or the economy rather. Hold on. He said something like he was pissed about the economy being ruined. And he was like, stay the fuck off trade servers. And it was fucking hilarious.
How does changing weapons affect the trading community?
He goes...
Yeah, that's what the trading community is trading is weapons.
Not even going to list them. All the changes are completely unnecessary and will only break things. Just the talking about it is fucking over the economy. Actual release will kill the nerfed weapons and the buffed ones will be overpriced. That guy's dead serious. That guy's life is fun and sad. And then like somebody was saying something about like, oh, you have copies of weapons, try getting scrap from weapons instead of da-da-da. He was like, 2 weapons equals 1 scrap. If you don't know this, stay off trading servers. Here he is. You don't know this? Stay off trading servers. Stay the fuck off trading servers.
Oh my god.
Make that as big as we can.
I will, I think I will stay off trading servers now.
Yeah, I think I definitely will now.
I finally am going to kick the habit.
Stay the fuck off. If any of you cock snowflakes show up, I'm going to ban your ass. That gets my upvote.
What do you think they're gonna put on the next blog post? I think they're gonna put the Wrangler in there because that's been a pretty complained about one for 6v6, which I agree with. I think that it's pretty pretty fucking powerful. Yeah,
What,
I already actually mentioned.
I think I remember somebody
Valve.
mentioning or saying something about that yesterday. Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I already sent a letter to Valve requesting that they requesting specific stats that I would like to see on the Wrangler instead of them just lowering the shield.
Yeah.
Because I think that they should. I think they should just remove the shield completely. That's my opinion.
So not just make it.
It's too good.
That's surprising that you would say they would just take it away completely. Hey.
Yeah. I think they should take it away completely, and then maybe in order to like circumvent that, they should make it so the engineer takes less damage from either his own sentry or from all sources when he has it active. That way he can kind of use it effectively without getting like a headshot, you know? Because I usually use it to spam like people who are out of range, and usually those people are snipers. And so the sniper's just going to headshot me if I just take my Wrangler out, because I have to peek him, but I'm not a sniper. He's going to headshot me. So if I had some sort of resistance to that, or at least like take less damage from a headshot while I'm able to like kind of pressure him away, and that would be useful. So that would be a nice thing to add to it in order to make up for the removal of the dumbass bubble that makes it so that has like 700 health for pressing 2 on your keyboard.
So make it less than. I just like the way you put that. Pressing 2 on your keyboard. So make it less of a gun bubble and more of an engineer bubble, so to speak. Kinda.
Yeah,
interesting concept.
That would be funny. You take it out, and now the bubbles around you.
Yeah, you get turned red or whatever. Yeah. That's interesting. Your suggestion of taking less damage from your own gun is interesting too. It feels niche now almost.
Well, that way you can sentry jump and not have as much of a risk. Because I like the concept of sentry jumping, and it's just not useful ever. You can use it to you can use it to like put it somewhere high up, like as a joke. But like, I mean, besides that, like it's never used, and I think engineer needs better mobility in general. So I think that, and I mentioned that to Valve, I was just like, engineer needs better mobility. So I mean, that would be the least you could do, is to make with sentry jumping better.
You should say
bullet jumping.
Did you say in your letter that you're going to quit if they don't do it? Yeah,
I threatened them. I said, I'm going to send a bomb if you don't do exactly what I say.
A balm?
A balm. I'm going to send you some lip balm.
Wow. Don't do that, Dane, please. You'll be in big trouble. You'll be in deep trouble. I can't afford
lip balm.
Yeah, boy.
What am I, fancy? What am I, fancy
I'm
boy?
a YouTuber. Come on.
Yeah, the Wrangler, like the thing that's frustrating about it is that people don't use it to fight people with it. They use it to, like I said earlier, I'm not like it sounds like a joke, but literally you press 2 and now the gun has 700 health. Like it's not hard to do. Like if somebody pushes my gun, I just press 2 and watch them waste time. It's not fair to them, and it's really easy for me to do. I don't know. I think they should make the Wrangler an offensive weapon more than a defensive weapon.
No, it's already pretty offensive to me. When are we getting the Thompson 6000 buff?
I would like it to be changed. I don't know about buffed. I also sent that in my letter to Valve to change the Thompson so that it doesn't drain people's abilities. Yeah. Also make it so the projectile goes faster so you can actually hit people with it.
The Palmson.
And then I was like, in order to make it have a clear-cut use, I suggested bringing back, I don't know if you remember, it used to penetrate players, and that's what made it pretty broken back when it did both. It penetrated players and it drained people's Ubers and Spy Cloak. So they removed the penetration, but they left that OP thing on it. But I think that they should do a trade-off. They should make it so it penetrates players but doesn't drain Cloak. I think that would be interesting, because then if you see a choke point of a bunch of people standing around, you can be like, oh, the Thompson would be nice here, and so you shoot him for a bunch of damage.
Yeah, I think that's what people
be like a
the most
bison.
The old bison. Rest in peace.
The old bison. Yeah.
Boy.
It should be a bison shotgun, I think.
I asked this to everyone else, and you might not have an opinion on it because it's you don't really use it. But are you surprised that they said that the man treads are the second least used weapon in the whole game?
I want to know what the first is.
That's do too. What now, some people speculated
was
the sharpened volcano fragment.
But
then my
that's
question,
a good guess.
My follow-up question then is, does that mean that less people are using man treads than are using the sun on a stick? Really?
You know, they made the sun on a stick a little better recently, so maybe
A little better.
maybe the third least used weapon is the sun on a stick,
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
it's only because some scouts don't like getting set on fire or something.
Yeah, it's a meme weapon, I guess. That's true. Because we've done that. I remember playing stacks in matchmaking that we did that. We had pyros. We had all pyros and one sun on a stick scout or something like that. Some stupid meme ass fucking thing. Anyways, any other thoughts? I can probably let you go. I've had you here now for almost an hour.
We've
or
been
something.
talking for a bit.
Yeah, it's not that I'm complaining. Somebody said we should do a podcast together.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of regretting not just recording this conversation because I could have just put this on my own podcast and just call it a day. Hey, there's a video.
I have a VOD. You can just
I
take the
wanted
audio.
to make a very true. Maybe I'll do that.
You have my
because
permission.
oh, thanks. Yeah, because yeah. Okay, I might actually do that because I've been wanting to talk about these weapons in some way on my channel, but I just don't know how to do it. I was assuming I would just do it through a podcast
Yeah.
format.
Somebody's speculating maybe the Dalcos bar could be but no, I don't think that would be the least used. People use that as a meme weapon as well.
I used to use it more than the sandwich for a bit.
Yeah,
and then I
used to
got a
use it on
strange
Hall of
sandwich,
Death.
and I was like, I got a Hall of Death. What
You
is
ever
that?
play that map, Hall of Death? It's a
No, what is that?
classic. It's exactly how it sounds. It's just this hallway where you just fucking...
You're talking about Dust Bowl?
No.
I think you're talking about Dust Bowl Stage 2.2.
No, I don't think I am.
Stage 3, I
But
mean.
maybe I am. I don't know. No, it's its own map and fucking... Yeah, hopefully the Sharpened Volcano Fragment gets its time in the sun in this next... I can't even find the fucking thing. I don't even think I have one, which is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, you don't really need one.
No, you don't.
I don't
really
know.
don't need one.
I don't really know what they would do to make it good. They would just have to redesign it, I think, because setting people on fire with a melee weapon as pyro is stupid. Doesn't make any
the
sense.
stupidest thing I've ever heard of, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Well, anything else then, or will I go play TF2 today?
Go and play the game, I think.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thank you, Uncle Dane. You are a very good opinion man. Opinion man.
Thanks. No, I like talking out loud about this stuff. It makes it easier for me to like know what my own opinions are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You ever have that where you like can't even really think about what your own opinion is until you start talking about it out loud, and then you're like, oh, that's what it is.
A little bit, but I'm mostly neurotic enough that I just talk about it out loud to myself in the room anyways, like a crazy person.
Okay. Good
But
to
yeah,
know.
no, it's good. I like interviewing, and you like talking about things, and people like to hear the well thought out opinions. So it's good
Win, win,
times.
win.
So kids, everybody, say goodbye to Uncle Dane. Bye.
Bye.
All right, cool. Thanks.
See you later,
Talk to you
man.
Peace.
Bye.
Uncle Dan, you are a very good sentry man. Cool. What do you guys think of all that? What is that guy talking about? Man, that guy's full of shit. Boy, that guy has no idea what he's talking about.
All right, so that was the audio from that conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. I hope you guys got all the information that you needed about my opinions on that stuff. I pretty much just talked about the stuff that I had opinions about. The rest of it, I either don't know or I like it. So thanks, guys, so much for listening. If you want to listen or if you want to watch Getawhale's stream, it's a great stream. It's probably one of the funniest streams that he's like one of the funniest people in TF2 that I know, as well as has one of the most interesting and entertaining streams on Twitch. So go ahead and check him out. He streams every day, actually, except for Monday and Thursday. He streams 5 days a week, and he starts around 7:30 Eastern, around there, and then he just streams until he's done. So it's a pretty good source of entertainment if you're up at night. You want to watch some gaming. He plays mostly TF2, but he does play some other games as well, so you get your well-rounded gaming experience from that. Anyway, thanks again for listening, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.